Good morning, Bande Matram. Welcome all of you. The topic of discussion for this morning is on rely only on the divine. So here we are in the path of the integral yoga. So far this integral yogic process is concerned, we must know only the divine. Divine is the beginning, divine is the goal, and the divine is always with us throughout. And Sri Aurobindo quotes finely, fantastically, in a couple of occasions we have already discussed. The divine alone is our object. Nothing, no one, nobody, nothing. Only the object is divine. Divine only is the object. So here we are here to discuss on the topic rely on the divine alone. The topic of discussion for this glorious morning is on divine, rely on the divine alone, because divine is our goal. He is the object, nothing else, nothing less than that, and nothing more than was, because nothing more than the divine is possible. So only the divine, that is our object, and the divine can lead, he does not drive. Because he stays in the front, but we don't know what really the divine is meant. Sri Aurobindo has been explained by the mother on how can we identify Sri Aurobindo as. Sri Aurobindo mother quotes, the divine is what we adore adore in Sri Aurobindo. Only the divine is what we adore in Sri Aurobindo. In other concept, the Sri Aurobindo is only the divine. His intention, motive, and his job is to lead, not to drive. Third, for those who wish to lead the spiritual life, because nobody can have the supramental realization if he is not having the spiritual. Now we are almost ordinary life or moral life, or that is in ordinary life, and the religious life. It is also at our utmost endeavor. So here spiritual is the next one. Those who wish to lead the spiritual life, the divine must always come first. Everything else must be secondary. Everything else must come as a secondary. Divine alone must come must. So that is a beautiful thing. So we are going to have some discussion only on rely on the divine alone. We'll quote it from the mother's writings only, because mother has explained beautifully. Most of the in most of the occasion we have discussed this type of topic from Sri Aurobindo. Of course, now we are going to have a brief discussion on mother's writings. There is one thing you must learn: never to rely on anyone or anything, whatever, except the divine. Except the divine, don't rely on anything or anybody. Only the divine. Anything, anyone, anybody, any matter, whatever is there, don't rely on them. Only rely on the divine. Only rely on nobody, nothing except the divine. For if you lean upon anyone for support, most of the time what we do, we don't know, because for a hungry man, food is God. 3 or 4 days you have been continuously starving. There is no other go, you don't have any option to move here and there. For that, actually, what you really do, you rely or you cling to for somebody's support. Suppose somebody is offering you some food or drinking water, you feel as he is divine in disguise. Naturally, we take it. For the hungry man, food is God. But the thing is that mother quotes, if you lean on anyone for support, that support will break, is bound to break. For sometimes you feel it is sure, it is spontaneous, it is sustainable, but the thing is that mother quotes, it is bound to break. You may be sure of that. That is what you must remember. Excluding divine, if you rely on somebody, knowingly or unknowingly, thinkingly or unthinkingly, you must know that is bound to break. From the minute you start doing yoga, Suppose you are doing the yoga, you are in the yogic path, you are treading the path from the very beginning, from the very first, you are very minute you are starting the yoga. Then so not the ordinary life, it is yogic life, mother quotes. And for those who do the yoga to depend upon someone else is like wanting to transform that person into a representative of the divine force. Something you are relying on the representative of the divine place of divine force. Now you may be sure that is not one in a 100 million who can carry the weight. He will break immediately. Suppose in the that very clearly, very silently, you must know divine is the goal, divine is the object, divine is all, divine is the beginning, divine is the end. Suppose you feel somebody, you are in the yogic process only in doing the sadhana, you must know relying on somebody or something excluding the divine, it is just like you are committing suicide, you are just going away, getting derailed. Something other course. Suppose you are in the person, you are in the path. So and you want to transform the person into the representative, that person into representative of the divine force. If you rely on divine, excluding divine, you rely on somebody else. Likely you may be sure that you are not the in 100 million, not in a 100 million who is to carry the weight, can never carry the weight. 100 millions they are staying outside like this ordinary common man, you are not in the yogic process. So don't rely on anything, anybody or any more on another another force excluding the divine. So he will break immediately if you rely, if you carry the load like the 100 millions they are staying outside not knowing what is yoga, what is sadhana, then likely this load will be broken down. That is what. So never take the attitude of hoping for support. Never take the attitude of hoping for support, for help, for comfort from anyone except the divine. It is also there, mother quotes beautifully, for support, for help, for comfort. You are taking shelter or taking, you are clinging, you are also, you are clinging to the undivine force or semi-divine force. Then for that you don't do that. You see, this is also sometimes we feel divine will not allow us. Who told you divine is not allowing us? Whatever we are, whatever we have, whatever we do, whatever we really plan to do, everything has been granted by the divine as per our requirement. Even Sri Aurobindo has quoted, if the divine sanctions hell for me, then why shall I aspire for heaven? Because the divine knows what is best for me than me, because my knowledge is limited. Because already I want to, with due apology, who can understand Sri Aurobindo? He is as vast as the universe, his teachings are limitless. And mother is quoting, the Sri Aurobindo is explaining, so we don't have the under no circumstance we have the capacity to comment on Sri Aurobindo. Anyway, what he has felt, we are obliged to just recite it, nothing else, because we don't have the capacity to understand Sri Aurobindo or explain. Anyway, that is absolute. I have never, not once, met anyone who tried to cling to something to find a support there. Never. You can't. You don't have that privilege, or nobody is having that assistance. He can do. Someone doing yoga, or who has been put into touch with the yoga, doing the yoga or in touch of the yoga, must understand fluently, very interestingly, what you should know, and who was not deceived. It breaks, stops, one loses one's support. Suppose you are supporting, then what happens? Mother quotes actually three things happen. So who has been put in touch with the yoga, who are not deceived, then it breaks, stops, and loses. Three things, mother quotes. Breaks, stops, or one loses one's support. Then one says life is difficult. With the divine, life is bliss. Without the divine, life is a painful illusion. So, you have not relied upon the divine alone, or you have not traded the yogic path. That is what the problem with you. So, you have gone for support, for aid, for assistance, for help to some undivine forces, that is not divine. For that it stops, it breaks, it actually fails. So that time, after getting failure, you feel life is difficult. Definitely life is difficult for those who carry out their sadhana without the support of the divine, who don't have the idea of progressing, without surrender. So it is not difficult, but one must know that what one is doing. Not difficult. You have not gone through. You are in the in the contrary process. You are going on the reverse direction, because the path is fixed, the end is fixed. The beginning you have started and tried to come few steps ahead, and there you are confined, you are confused, you are confined, you don't know where to go, how to begin, and with which we have to go. That's what the path you can't choose. You just leave everything to the divine, so that the path will be chosen. Take their guidance, take their help. That is what the divine mother and Sri Aurobindo has come. They have come here in the human mood, human embodiment. That's what you must know. But leaving everything you are doing without proper surrender, without taking proper help of the divine, you are moving up your own, or taking support of some undivine or semi-divine or half-divine forces. That is what the difficulty rising. You don't know what really you are doing. Never seek a support elsewhere than the divine. That is what support. Definitely it is required. Cling to the truth, mother has quoted. And you never seek a support elsewhere than the divine. Only the divine support is all. Never seek satisfaction elsewhere from the divine than the divine. Never, first mother has quoted, never take help, seek support from elsewhere than the divine. Second, never seek satisfaction else from elsewhere than the divine. Never seek satisfaction of your deeds in anywhere except the divine. Never, never for everything at all. So that is what required mother has quoted, explained, and of course clarified. Mother has indicated. That is a brilliant issue before us. We are being put mother quotes. Again, I will try to quotes. Never seek support elsewhere than the divine, number one. Never seek satisfaction elsewhere than the divine, number two. Never seek the satisfaction of the needs in anyone except the divine. Never, never for anything at all. Only seek for help, seek for support, cling to him, get the required guidance only from the divine, not from anybody else. That is what mother quotes. All your needs can be satisfied only by the divine. All your needs can be satisfied only by the divine. That is a great assurance from the mother. Whatever you want, whatever you will, but if it is needful for your sadhana or yogi process, and if it is the soul's desire, soul's aspiration, that can be fulfilled. Otherwise you can't get. For that, actually, don't blame, don't compare, don't make a complain, compromise, or compare. He is getting, the others are getting, everybody's want is fulfilled, not mine. These are not requirement. These are not the things that are given to you. Anyway, so all your weaknesses can be born and healed only by the divine. Well, weaknesses and can be born. Only the divine can bear, and can be healed only by the divine. He alone is, capable of giving you what you need in everything. Whatever is you need in everything. But actually, with due apology, I feel that is for the purpose of sadhana, purpose of success in sadhana. Everything can be fulfilled only, by the divine. He alone is capable of giving you what you need in everything, always. And if you try to find any satisfaction or support or help or joy or whatever you know, I will try to quote it again. Mother is there smiling at us beautifully. He is capable of giving, and definitely she will not only capable, he is more than capable because everything is emerging out of heart of the divine. So he alone is capable of giving you what you need for anything, always, anything and always. Second, if you try to find any satisfaction, support, help, or joy, whatever you know, in everything He is there and He is sufficiently capable to give it. Then again, heaven knows what in everyone else. Heaven knows what in everyone else. You will always fall on the fall on your nose, and one day definitely will come, and that always hurts and sometimes even hurts very much, but you know what is the divine, you don't know. Once you are getting derailed, you are speaking of the wrong path, definitely you are bound to suffer, there is no other go. But if you have surrendered yourself and you have given and you are guided and helped by the divine, nothing contrary or worse will happen. He will take care. So rely only on the divine. Vande Mataram.